A lot of people attended these parties, saw the activity going on, and allowed it to continue without intervening. Some may have even benefited from or profited off it, yet said nothing. One claim in particular, that Diddy had unwanted sex with a woman, is dismissed by his legal team as baseless, with the belief that it will be proven false when the trial begins. With 25 minors among 120 clients, the courtroom is set to be packed as Diddy faces his trial. His legal team asserts that he's not only defending himself, but representing anyone who has ever been unjustly targeted by authorities. Just minutes ago, a lawyer revealed arrest warrants for some of Hollywood's most notable figures connected to Diddy. The question remains, will the explosive revelations from this trial dismantle Diddy's empire, or will it expose hidden complexities no one anticipated? Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, isn't holding back, using powerful language such as the possibility of life in federal prison. His approach is filled with theatrics, suggesting that Diddy's defense might be as dramatic as an award-winning film, complete with emotional scenes, revelations, and unexpected twists. What's clear is that the trial promises to be anything but ordinary. Diddy's situation is dire, and this isn't just an old scandal resurfacing. It's one that threatens to topple careers and reveal the seedy underbelly of Hollywood. As new details come to light, even some of the industry's most recognized names may be dragged into the fray. For fans of celebrity drama, this story is more than just a headline. It's a crisis that's set to shake the entire industry to its core. One of the prominent lawyers involved in this high-profile case is Tony Busby. Known for thriving in the public eye and never shying away from making waves, Busby has hinted that this case is about more than just holding one man accountable. It's shaping up to be an indictment of powerful institutions. Busby seems to suggest that big players like hotels, banks, and other corporate entities might find themselves in the crosshairs, and if they do, the ramifications could be monumental. What started as a celebrity trial could morph into a high-stakes showdown against influential giants. Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team is pushing their own narrative, claiming that the prosecution isn't about pure justice, but rather a splashy conviction for personal glory. They argue that prosecutors are targeting their client like he's the catch of the century, fueling speculation that this is more about career-making headlines than fairness. The defense insists that the case isn't about criminal activity, but rather questionable behavior. They aim to distinguish this case from others, such as those involving minors, and insist that, while Diddy's actions may appear bad, they don't break federal laws. The bigger question, though, is whether having Diddy testify will help his case or make things worse. Can he shift public perception, or will it backfire and reveal more than he intended? His defense hinges on distancing him from comparisons to figures like R. Kelly or Epstein, but when you have to start with, "I'm not that guy," you're already on shaky ground. Hollywood elites are sweating bullets. No one wants to defend their time spent at Diddy's exclusive parties. This anxiety stretches beyond musicians, affecting actors, athletes, and even politicians with deep connections to him. Everyone linked to him is working overtime to stay clear of the scandal. Once iconic events like his legendary all-white parties have now become cautionary tales. Busby's strategy is clear. He's not stopping at one man. His determination to drag every implicated individual into the courtroom is evident, as he's already sent demand letters to big names, warning them to settle or risk exposure. Rumors swirl that some celebrities have already paid significant sums in hush money to keep their names out of the fire. If photos from parties, such as those showing Cuba Gooding Jr., end up in court as evidence, the fallout could be unpredictable. The fear among those once close to Diddy is palpable, with many frantically distancing themselves from him. Even Hollywood staples like Mel's Drive-In, the beloved vintage diner, have quietly removed pictures of him to avoid any association. It's a domino effect of epic proportions, with A-listers settling in private and lesser-known figures scrambling to avoid getting caught up in the scandal. As the trial of Sean Diddy looms, the stakes are higher than ever, not just for him, but for the entire network of connections he's built. What began as an investigation into one man's alleged wrongdoings has grown into a storm that threatens to expose major corporations, and it's becoming clear that some of these entities may not have been innocent bystanders. There's growing chatter that they could have been complicit or, at the very least, willing enablers, turning a blind eye while profiting from the arrangement. What initially seemed like a celebrity spectacle is now evolving into something far deeper and more tangled, with Diddy's infamous parties at the center of it all. These were not ordinary Hollywood parties. They were upscale hotel events that blurred the line between glamorous celebrations and chaotic nightmares. At the heart of these bashes were substance-heavy gatherings where attendees were allegedly coerced into crossing both moral and legal boundaries. What makes the situation even murkier is the involvement of big-name hotels, the very places that hosted these events. These hotels are now under scrutiny because it seems they knew exactly what was happening behind closed doors, yet chose to remain silent for the sake of profit. Known for their attentive service, these establishments likely saw trouble brewing, but allowed it to continue due to the financial gain they received from these high-profile events. The allure of hefty bookings and celebrity clients overshadowed their responsibility to report suspicious activities, with the hotels benefiting from the cash pouring in and the enhanced reputations that came with hosting famous figures. Even more troubling are allegations that some hotel staff may have been complicit, choosing silence over honesty because it was in their best interest. Tony Busby, one of the fierce legal voices on this case, has pointed out that there's a roster of corporate players who are more than willing to ignore or actively hide the truth. If these allegations are proven true, some hotels could face not only reputational damage, but also financial repercussions that may be monumental. The legal fallout for these businesses could be far more severe than just a PR nightmare. It could lead to major settlements and other financial penalties. But the rabbit hole doesn't end there. Banks have also been dragged into the picture. While financial institutions weren't physically present at these parties, they may have played a crucial role in facilitating questionable transactions. Orchestrating multi-day, lavish events require significant funding, and there's speculation that banks may have processed funds used for illicit activities, such as purchasing substances or moving hush money to keep things quiet. Financial institutions are legally required to flag unusual financial activities, especially when large amounts of money are involved. However, if keeping a high-profile client satisfied was deemed more valuable, these red flags could have been intentionally ignored. While this remains speculative, the idea that institutions connected to Diddy's business empire might have helped conceal his secrets isn't too far-fetched. The situation becomes even more alarming when pharmaceutical companies are brought into the conversation. Some victims have reportedly tested positive for strange substances, such as horse tranquilizers, drugs not typically found at local pharmacies. This raises a possibility that a more sophisticated supply chain could have been involved in sourcing these substances. If pharmaceutical distributors or suppliers were involved in funneling these drugs into Diddy's parties, they could soon find themselves answering tough questions in court. This whole situation casts a shadow over major companies that may have unknowingly played supporting roles in a very dark chapter of the scandal. If evidence links them to this case, their liability could extend into legal territory they are unprepared for. What started as a celebrity trial has now evolved into an exposé about how deeply entwined corporate interests and high-profile misdeeds can be. The consequences are starting to surface, and as more companies announce they're severing ties with Diddy, the fallout is becoming clear. Earlier today, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses announced they had stopped selling his Sean John frames, and many stores have removed the products from their displays. The greed of corporations that once turned a blind eye to shady dealings in exchange for the steady influx of cash is now catching up with them, as the consequences of their actions begin to surface in the wake of this growing scandal. Tony Busby's lawsuits are digging deep, uncovering hidden truths that suggest Diddy isn't the only one in jeopardy. The wave of legal action is far from over, with Busby announcing plans to file lawsuits across multiple states. These legal claims aren't limited to Diddy's extravagant gatherings. They span decades, reaching back to the 1990s and extending into recent years. With each new lawsuit, more names could emerge, potentially implicating various hotels and banks that allegedly turned a blind eye. The pressing question isn't just whether these corporations will face financial penalties, but whether they can survive the damage to their reputations. Imagine staying at a hotel known for hosting drug-fueled parties, or trusting a bank that overlooks suspicious transactions for profit. That kind of association could be catastrophic for their brand image. And we've only just begun to see the full scope of the revelations that are likely to unfold in court. This legal battle is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic stories the entertainment industry has ever witnessed. Busby, a tenacious Texas attorney, represents over 120 individuals with serious allegations against the celebrity in question, and he's not backing down. He claims that some of Diddy's so-called friends are attempting to erase all traces of their association, deleting posts and offering hush money to keep their names out of the scandal. Since the arrest, lawsuits have piled up, covering misconduct, wild parties, and secrets that A-list pals may have known about for years. These friends are scrambling to distance themselves from the scandal, but it might already be too late. Busby's team has evidence. Text messages, photos, videos. That's been deleted in an attempt to cover tracks, but the receipts are already out there, and they're juicy. Busby isn't shy about stating that many individuals involved are sweating it out. And as he continues to dig, the real question becomes how many high-profile names will crumble once all the details spill out. It's like watching a game of Jenga, where every move threatens to topple the entire tower. Meanwhile, Diddy's lawyer, Erica Wolf, is keeping things tightly under wraps, insisting they won't dignify what she calls baseless claims with a response. On the flip side, Busby's hotline for victims is lighting up, with over 12,000 calls in just 24 hours. This flood of calls signals that the narrative goes far beyond a few unfounded claims. Busby is working on settling cases to provide some form of justice for the victims, while also building a larger case against the celebrity. The most tantalizing part of this saga is the list of celebrity names being dropped, which is making this scandal even wilder. Prince Harry's name has surfaced in connection with the scandal, though there's no implication of wrongdoing on his part. It's more of a byproduct of the whirlwind surrounding the case. Lucian Grange, CEO of Universal Music Group, has been accused of turning a blind eye to the antics surrounding this mess, a classic move of pretending not to notice the brewing storm until it's too late. Just when it seemed the drama couldn't escalate further, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been dragged into the fray, named as a defendant for dubious behavior aboard a yacht. Although he's dismissed the allegations as ridiculous, an ironic stance for someone who's already faced Hollywood chaos. Then there's young Miami, who was dating Diddy at the time, but claims she had no knowledge of the scandal. Her attempt to distance herself from the fallout is convenient, especially for someone wanting to avoid being caught in the crossfire. This scandal is not only threatening individual careers, it casts a long, ugly shadow over anyone even remotely connected to the chaos. If the allegations hold water, those involved could face serious jail time and career-ending sentences. The big question now is how many more names will emerge as this saga continues to unfold. Lucian Grange's legal team has been quick to respond to the accusations, dismissing them as outlandish and knowingly false. They're not merely fighting to dismiss the claims. They're going for blood, even threatening legal action against the lawyer who filed them. This is how the game is played in the world of the rich and powerful. Deny everything, then destroy the messenger. The stakes have escalated beyond mere legal battles. It's become a full-blown war of public perception. Former New York City prosecutor Paul Kalin weighed in, stating that if convicted, the accused could face a life sentence behind bars, although he doubts this outcome. Even a sentence of 10 to 20 years could effectively end their larger-than-life persona. To make matters worse, bail has been denied, a rarity for someone of such stature, because prosecutors convince the judge that the accused poses a flight risk and may intimidate witnesses if released. This situation is no longer just about legalities. It's about the ability to recover in the eyes of the law and the public. The fallout from this case will extend far beyond the individual at the center. It reflects on the powerful figures around them and the system that has allowed celebrities to operate in a bubble untouchable until everything crashes down. As the trial approaches, one thing is clear. The fallout will be brutal, affecting careers, reputations, and the lives of everyone caught in the blast radius. The looming question is who will leave unscathed and who will be left in the rubble. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories have exploded online, and people are consuming them like the latest season of their favorite reality show. These theories are being embraced as if they're the gospel truth by those eager for a juicy scandal. One of the wildest theories circulating is the body double theory. This speculation suggests that the accused didn't actually get arrested, but instead sent in a lookalike to take the heat. The idea that one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in entertainment could orchestrate a mini-prison break with a body double sounds almost theatrical, but surprisingly, people are buying it. This theory feeds into the fantasy that celebrities are somehow above the law, capable of outsmarting the entire justice system. Another theory gaining traction links this scandal to the notorious Jeffrey Epstein, claiming that the accused was involved in some of Epstein's operations, frequenting secretive parties where illegal activities occurred. Though it's unconfirmed whether they ever visited Epstein's Miami mansion, whispers suggest that the accused may have been regular at such gatherings. Even Joe Rogan and MMA fighter Israel Adesanya have hinted at connections between the accused and darker sides of the entertainment world, with Adesanya expressing relief at dodging an invite to one of these parties. Rogan, known for his conspiracy theories, suggested that the media's silence on the matter points to a cover-up. What's more, there's a theory that unlike Epstein, the accused might crack under pressure and name-drop all their powerful associates, feeding the public's desire for a high-profile downfall. Adding fuel to the fire, there's been talk about the late Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-partner, and some allegedly revealing journal entries that cast a shadow over him. Rumors are swirling about a newly released book titled Kim's Lost Words, said to feature journal entries that unveil dark secrets, possibly even sparking Diddy's recent legal troubles. While Diddy's team has dismissed this as fabrication, conspiracy theorists are eating it up, convinced that a hidden diary holds all the juicy details. In a world obsessed with sensational narratives, it's no surprise that the book is flying off the shelves, further reinforcing the idea that Diddy's polished public persona has been a carefully crafted illusion all along. To make things even more dramatic, some people are even linking Diddy's arrest to the breakup of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. The theory suggests that during an FBI raid on Diddy's mansion, explosive tapes featuring Lopez surfaced, playing a role in her split from Affleck. While Lopez's camp has denied this, the rumor mill continues to spin, feeding the public's insatiable thirst for scandalous Hollywood love triangles. Just when it seemed things couldn't get crazier, Usher was dragged into the drama. After Diddy's arrest, Usher wiped his entire social media history clean. Some view this as a mere coincidence, but conspiracy theorists see it as a major red flag, speculating that Usher was trying to cover up ties to Diddy. Usher later claimed his account was hacked, but the timing seemed too suspicious for some to believe anything less than the worst. Adding another layer to the mystery, an AI-generated song featuring what sounds like Justin Bieber surfaced online shortly after Diddy's arrest. The song, which describes getting lost at a party hosted by Diddy, was later confirmed to be fake, yet it only fueled speculation about the shady happenings at Diddy's parties. Whether real or not, the song served as a clue or a warning about the dark side of Diddy's world. With all this drama swirling, one question remains. Will this trial bring down some of Hollywood's biggest names, or is Diddy being unfairly targeted? Only time will tell.